Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the channel, Divine Truth Tarot. I'm Sarah, and I'll be your intuitive guide this morning. I don't know what the hell that is. I hope everyone is doing well. As you can see, I fully recovered from that hellish Aries full moon. Thank you, Aries, for the lessons, and thank you and fuck you. Just kidding, sort of. I am in rare form this morning, and Serafina Aurora is as well. She's reminding you of your divine feminine essence. I've gotten a lot of emails, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be real honest. I have not answered any of them in about a week because I have not had a moment of freedom. So please know that it is not personal. I just have a lot on my plate right now. So understand and thank you for your patience in advance. And I wanted to, I had I had an email from a divine feminine, a male divine feminine. It was actually worded very eloquently. And he asked if I could please try to use, he or she more frequently. And I want you to know that I am very much aware that divine feminines can be male and divine masculines can be female. In fact, I carry a lot of divine masculine energy within myself, so I fully respect and understand that. Oftentimes, when I say, he or she, it's referring to the energy. So please know that it's definitely not, it's not to alienate anybody, it's not to confuse anybody, and it's not to play favorites one way or the other. It's easier to just stick to one rather than saying he or she, he or she. But I will do my best to be more aware of that and to try to incorporate, more he or she in there. But it is definitely not for any reason other than it's just being more succinct and it's less verbose, if you will. Thank you for allowing me to use those fancy words. It takes a bow. Other than that, I thank you guys for I thank you for being there for each other. I thank you for being on this journey, and we're going to get started. I don't know why I decided to put that cup right there, but it's a little love cup. So we're going to get started with the reading. I've decided to do the Angels and Ancestors deck, the Sacred Destiny deck, and the Hero's Journey deck. These are all really powerful decks, so let's see what comes up this morning. Actually, it's afternoon. Sarah, it's afternoon. Let's be honest. In my world, it's morning when it's 12:30 p.m., so just FYI. We're going to start with the Sacred Destiny Oracle here. Okay. I hope everyone's doing really well, all joking aside, and I hope you're feeling stronger. I hope you're feeling more clear. I hope you're feeling just better overall. Give me a second here, because this wants to just move around. Let me get it just pinned in a little more nicely, if you will, mate. There we go. Okay, no, I think I just made it worse. All right, my Syrian guides are laughing at me. Can you help me out, guys? Okay, thank you. Okay. And let's go ahead and invite in Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Metatron, any other archangels that wish to be present for this reading. We ask that you please create a sphere of golden light and protection around this reading, around this room, around myself, the reader, around anyone watching, around our higher selves, and of course, our divine counterparts. Please send the divine masculines lots of love, lots of strength to get through this. And we ask for divine union in the physical 3D as well as the 5D in this lifetime. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to add that in because I like that. We're going to add that in every time. Okay, hello. Let's go ahead and go with the card that wanted to just flip out here. We have adventures. We have a waterfall. Waterfall came up the other day in a reading, so I find that very interesting and fascinating. We have very colorful little birdies. They look like wild parrots, and we have these tropical flowers. So this looks like a tropical oasis. This looks like a little slice of heaven. So I see this as there, and I feel this in my bones. So let me know in the comments below if you guys are feeling this as well. I feel as though the twins are about to go on these mega adventures. These adventures are going to bring you lots of fun, lots of joy. They're going to bring some lightheartedness into these connections, which is definitely, definitely needed at this time. And they're also just going to bring lightheartedness into your life, into your world, divine feminine. And I really feel like we've been through hell and back this year. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Let's not sit here and sugarcoat it, because this is divine truth tarot. This is not divine sugarcoating tarot. I feel like, this is cleansing. When we see water come up this often, like it's been doing lately in readings, we see that there's a purification happening. We see, of course, this is bringing in the water sign energy of Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. So if you're Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer, or have significant placements in the water signs, this could definitely be your reading. But what's coming up here is there's this sort of spiritual rejuvenation happening for the twins. And I know you guys can feel this. It feels as though there's a door opening. It feels refreshing. It feels crisp and cool. And it's fall in the northern hemisphere. It's about to be spring in the southern hemisphere. So I do feel like there's a sense of kind of, fall to me always feels like new beginnings, even though spring represents new beginnings. Fall to me is everything is changing. Everything is shifting. And I want to make it very clear that there are things that are shifting and changing within the connection. And there are things that are shifting and changing within your divine masculine's reality, within the reality of the world, and also within your reality. So think about how water is significant for you. How does water play a significant role for you at this time? And what is being cleansed away? What is being purified for you? Think about the power of the waterfall. I mean, this is a quite lofty, tall waterfall. So think about the power of, the water. It gains momentum, right, as it's falling from that height. So understand that there's movement happening. Okay, there's a ferocity with which these our lives are being transformed. Our lives are moving forward at this time, and new adventures are being activated. And I want to make it clear that something really exciting is around the corner. I want to make that I know that's very vague, but I want to make that very clear. There's a brand new chapter that's opening up for humanity, for those that decide to walk through it, as well as for twins, starseeds, light workers. And you're going to start to, if you haven't already, you're going to be looking at the world through a different set of eyes, through a different pair of eyes. And your masculine's feeling this too, by the way. And when you get to that point where your old life no longer fits your new version of reality, you're looking at life through a different set of eyes, you can't go back to the way things were. You cannot go back and be content. You can try, but your soul is going to be restless, okay? So the masculines are feeling restless. The feminines are feeling restless, but for a different reason. The feminines are feeling restless because they're ready to get this journey started with their masculine. They're ready to get the next leg of their, adventure started. The masculines are restless because many of them are still in the same place they were in the beginning of this year, and they feel like they just need to escape. So there's like an escapism theme for the masculines right now. So they realize that, the masculines don't like the mundane. Neither do the feminines. There's no way we would have signed up for this journey. And if we thought union wasn't going to happen, that's just punishment. The universe doesn't punish us. And B, we wouldn't have signed up for this journey unless we thought it was a grand adventure. And it is a grand adventure. And we were willing and able and desiring to go through all of this. So the doors are opening to more opportunities, to limitless possibilities, right, for twins. And all we need to do at this point is set off on the great spiritual voyage, bon voyage, twins, and see what happens next, right? And stay open to what happens next. And I know that sounds really vague, but please understand that there is a reason why things are happening as they are and that why they're unfolding as they are, one step at a time. I want to find out a little bit. Well, the masculines are working on trust, okay? The masculines are working on trusting themselves, trusting their higher power, trusting the universe, trusting the decisions they're making, trusting their thoughts, trusting the pull they feel to the feminines. The masculines are working on trusting this process. This has not been easy for the masculines because masculine energy wants concrete proof. And there is no concrete proof. Right? This is not, it's not tangible, but they're receiving spiritual guidance, right? They're tuning in, they are tuned into their spiritual guides. They are tuned into their higher selves. They are tuned into their universal connection. The antenna of the masculines is on, okay? It's ready. It's activated. Now, the only thing left for the masculines to do is trust that they're being led exactly where they're supposed to be, and trust that the things that they're being asked to let go of need to absolutely be let go of. Trust that they're going to be taken care of. They have to trust that they're going to be able to find their way. They have to trust that the feminine is going to be waiting for them. And I think that's probably the most challenging aspect is, for the masculines, giving up the comfort zone and the codependency of some of these connections that they're in, or these situations that they're in with family members. It might be, inheritance. It might be a job that's cushy, but whatever that is, they know they have to leave that behind to come towards their feminine. Some of them will be moving states, some of them will be moving countries, some of them will be moving homes in the next few months. And as this happens, they have to trust that things are going to unfold and that they're going to be taken care of. So they have to learn to trust that the universe is benevolent, that the universe didn't present them with the love of their life just to take it away, rip it away, for them to never be able to be with their feminine. So it's a very powerful energy for the masculines. Okay, it speaks of the power of their inner knowing. Okay, it's a very, very deep inner knowing. And like I said, their celestial advisors, their celestial team, their spiritual team is very close to them now. And they're receiving some very important messages through their intuition, through their third eye, through dreams, and through the 5D connection with the feminine. They're receiving guidance right now that is helping them. That is, they may not understand it on the 3D, but the spiritual guidance is helping them to shift in the right direction, for them to be able to move forward with the feminine, and for them to be able to move forward with their lives, and to really finally close the chapter and close out those karmic cycles that have been over and done with really since for quite some time. Okay. Yeah, they're realizing that all of this has a higher purpose, that their connection with the feminine has a higher purpose, this connection in general has a higher purpose, their life here has a higher purpose. The mundane no longer appeals to them. It never actually did. They just pretended. They wore the mask and they pretended that they were okay, and they thought they could blend into society, but they're standing out now like a sore thumb more than ever, as is the feminine. Oh, guys. Wow. New beginnings. New beginnings are on the horizon. Wow, masculines. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, man. Wow. Okay, I have to show you guys what's coming up. This is insane. Okay, let me show you what's coming up. Okay, on the top of the deck, after new beginnings, I have truth and potential. This is crazy. So we have trust, adventures, new beginnings, truth, and potential, okay? New beginnings on the horizon. Truth is being spoken. Truth will be spoken. Truth is being revealed. Potentiality of these connections, right? The new beginnings, the potential that the strength, the absolute inherent nature of these connections to transform, right? To transform society, to transform yourself. It's the power of love. It's the power, the potential of love to transform, and the truth being brought into these connections. These are so incredibly powerful. Give me just 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. So the potential and the power for these connections is so raw. It's so ripe right now. I mean, we are on the precipice of a amazing breakthrough. Again, I cannot stress enough, if you can't see it in the 3D, there's nothing to worry about. This is so much deeper than the 3D. Think about this for a second. Think about the fact that in the 3D, we're all wearing avatars. We're all wearing avatars, but in the 5D is actually where all the action's at right now for most of us. The 5D is where the avatar comes off and you're just a spirit, you're just a soul. And that's why you can connect with your masculine a lot easier at times, not always. So don't get scared. Oh, I haven't connected with them in a day or weeks. It's fine. Sometimes they might turn off the 5D because it's overwhelming, overpowering. Sometimes you might turn off the 5D. So I understand that it's hard to trust. I get that it's hard to trust when you can't see movement, but look at the stillness here, and you're being asked to trust in spite or in lieu of any physical movement. You're being asked to trust in the power of new beginnings, the potential that exists. This is a volcano that's about to erupt. That's what's about to happen for the twin flames as they step into these new beginnings. It's out of our control at this point, so much so that the universe has taken the wheel. Okay, God has taken the wheel. And the truth is about to be exposed to the whole entire world at large. Nothing can stand in the way of truth. Nothing can stand in the way of love. There is no force or power stronger than love. If you've ever read about, the top 5 regrets of the dying, which is a book written by a nurse, it's a top seller. It's a bestseller. Or if you've read about, or you've had any contact with people who have crossed over, people who have died, and you understand that what they explain is the light. They see the light, and what they remember, it's going to make me emotional. I'm a Scorpio, so I'm all about death, rebirth, and transformation. I'm fascinated I've always been fascinated. What happens when we die? What happens when we get to the other side? I always thought I was weird, but this is part of my power. This is part of my gifts, is to help people understand that we don't die. We're born again. We are born into the next form, into the next level of our journey. We are reborn again and again and again, and we never actually die. We are endless beings. We're limitless beings, and we're ancient beings, and we continue to just, we change form. The veil thins and we switch over and we cross over. So when people pass over, what do? They say, it's all love. Like it's all love. Everything that we're on this earth for, all the struggle, the pain, the fear, the separation that we perceive, the heartbreak, the loss, everything can be traced back to love. Everything is an act of love. Everything can be seen through the eyes of love, and everything is a plea for love. It's a call for love. When people do things that hurt us, they're calling out to be loved. And I think it's so easy as humans to forget. When your masculine pushes you away, it's not because they don't love you. It's because they do love you. They don't want to hurt you. They feel like they could hurt you. They don't want to be the one that breaks your heart. They don't want to be the one that pulls you away from your mission here, that pulls you away from what you're supposed to do or who you're supposed to be. When your masculine says something that hurts you, it's because they're reaching out and crying out for love. When anyone says anything that hurts you or hurts anyone, they're crying out for love. And if we can see things through the eyes and through the lens of love, everything shifts and everything transforms, and it brings in the power of forgiveness and the power of miracles. Forgiveness begets miracles. And this is what's being asked for at this time. The truth will be revealed. Okay, the truth is about to be revealed on a grand level, in a grand scheme. Everything is playing out exactly as it should. We have an avatar who's our leader in America right now, and he's playing his part, and everyone is playing their part exactly to a T of how they're supposed to, what they're supposed to say, how they're supposed to act, what they're supposed to do. And we are all part of this. We all of our souls signed up for this. We signed up to be here at this exact point in time, exact point in history, to play our part. So think about how you can forgive. Think about what needs to be forgiven. I mean, this has been coming up over and over for the past several months. And if it's still coming up, that means there's still work to be done in the collective, all of us. Focus on the new beginnings. Focus on trusting your counterpart. Focus on the adventures ahead. Focus on the truth that's going to be revealed by your counterpart and by others. Focus on the potential of these new beginnings. Focus on what you wish to bring into fruition, and not what you wish to let go of. If you focus on separation, if you focus on the karmic situation, karmic partner, if you focus on the lack, you're going to receive, or you focus on the fear, you're going to receive more of that, because the universe doesn't know the difference. So it thinks that you're asking for more of the fear, more of the lack, okay, more of the heartbreak, and more of the separation. So it's time for us to expect miracles. It's time for us to see the potential and our counterpart. It's time for us to realize that just because something hasn't happened doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Just because it's taken X amount of time doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I see all the time people saying, well, I'm going to leave. If he or she doesn't come forward within 6 months, I'm done. Well, I mean, how can you say that? These connections are based on divine timing. You're not in control. That's your ego talking. That's your ego saying, I need to control the situation. I need to control. And that 6 months is going to come and nothing is going to have changed unless you've done your work, you've grown, and you realize that things will shift exactly when they're supposed to, when you're ready. It's not when your counterpart's ready, it's when you're ready. And then your counterpart will reflect that back to you as your divine mirror. So I think it's time to take a lot of the pressure off of our counterparts and take more accountability and more responsibility for ourselves as divine feminines. We want this miracle to occur. We want them to speak the truth. Well, how can they feel safe to speak the truth if we haven't yet forgiven the past? How can we move forward in these connections and create these new beginnings and allow them to feel safe if we haven't forgiven, right? If we haven't forgiven our counterpart, how do we expect them to come forward with the truth, or in the truth, or of the truth? Think about that. We have to let go of the past. We have to let go of the way the relationship was. We have to let go of the way our counterpart showed up, right, in the past. Because the way they showed up in the past is not the way they're going to be showing up in the future. And we don't want to continue inviting in that old version of them, the old version of our connection, the old version of us. Just because something happened in the past doesn't mean it needs to recur or happen again in the future. That's something we need to really be willing to let go of. So clear the slate. Know that the past is gone. Let it go. Let it go and take in the power of the present moment. Expect miracles. Can you expect miracles? Are you wired to not expect miracles? Ask yourself that. Okay? And speak your truth. If you want the truth to be spoken to you, you have to speak your truth. You have to live your truth. Okay? You have to be in authenticity of your truth if you'd like the truth to come to you, or if you'd like others to speak the truth. So find your truth. Listen to your truth. Listen to what is sincere and honest in others. And take some quiet time. Take some time in the silence to figure this out. Think about that. Think about what all of this means for you. What does this mean for me to forgive? What does this mean for me to trust the potential of this volcano at rest? This is your masculine right now. This is the divine masculine. This is the divine masculine. This is the power of the divine masculine. Okay? The power. This is the dormant volcano at rest that could explode at any moment. The masculines are in activation mode. They might seem dormant in the 3D, but they're in activation mode. So what's happening behind the scenes, what's happening inside of them, okay, the shifts that are happening inside, the revelations that are happening, they're stepping into their power. They're stepping into all the gifts that they've had on the back burner their entire lives because they've tried to placate others. They've tried to make others happy. They've been codependent. They haven't allowed themselves to experience happiness. They haven't allowed themselves to experience soul expansion. They've kept their gifts hidden from the people in their lives because they didn't want to be made fun of. They didn't know how to speak their truth, okay? They didn't exactly know who they were. And they didn't trust in the divine because the divine in some way had upset them. The divine in some way had taken someone from them, had taken their childhood from them. Many of these masculines have had sexual abuse in their childhoods and they haven't recovered from it, but they've been working on that. That's what they've been doing behind the scenes, okay? They've been working on healing from their past. They have this incredible untapped potential, the truth of who they are, and it's inside of them and they know it now. Okay, it's a wellspring of power. It's a wellspring of strength, and it's about to emerge. So understand that the masculine's life force is stronger than ever. It's stronger than ever right now. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that could stop the masculines from coming forward to the feminines. This radiant sunrise here, this radiance here that's being portrayed, right, in the mountainside, guess what? Life is about to expand in the most surprising ways, the most profound and wondrous ways that you could ever imagine. New experiences, new adventures are on the horizon. There is trust and truth being brought in. There's potential being brought in. I can't think of more powerful cards than what we have here. Miracles. There's miracles being brought into these new beginnings. Understand the power that you have, the power that that lie in your thoughts, feminine, the power that lies in your actions. There's so much to be thankful for. There's so much going on behind the scenes that we don't even see yet. But it doesn't mean it hasn't happened. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just means it hasn't happened yet. I don't want to take these cards down because they're so incredibly powerful. If I were you, I'd take a picture. That's what I would do. I would take a picture right there. And I would put that somewhere, print it out, put it somewhere where you can see it, where you can look at it every day and see and trust. There's no more hiding for the masculines. There's no more of them hiding who they are or what they are. That doesn't exist. It's not possible for them anymore. The only thing that's left for them to do is to simply reveal their truth, is to simply step forward in truth and step forward in the authenticity that has always been theirs, but that has been hidden. Okay, that has been shoved aside and pushed down for far too long. I mean, the volcano is about to burst and the masculines will have no choice but to live in their truth, but to revel in their truth. And when they live their truth, the feminine automatically gets magnetized back into their lives. Yeah. So the masculines are learning to say yes to their higher calling. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, divine. Yes, universe. Yes, higher self. Yes, yes, divine feminine. Be a human exclamation mark. They are no longer just going to sit in the potential. They like the potential's there, but it's going, guess what? It's going to push them into action. They're going to say yes to who they truly are. Putting this right here. Not who they need to be for other people. Okay, that's different, masculines, but who they truly are. The masculines have discovered, this is who I truly am. This is who I'm becoming. This is who I need to be for my feminine. This is who I'm supposed to be in this lifetime. Okay? I'm not a servant to other people's needs or desires. This is the call to adventure, and I find that interesting. This is in the hero's journey, this is part of the call to adventure, and we have adventures. So yes, masculines are saying yes to the adventures. Masculines are trusting that when they say yes, right? When they say yes, they're going to be delivered to the perfect people, places, and experiences that they need to experience right now, that they need to have for them to take themselves to the next level, the next leg of their journey. And, remember how I said that the masculines, there's this vision of the masculines walking out with just, a suitcase in hand or one piece of luggage. Well, guess what? This is about packing lightly. I mean, you see this woman, she looks free, right? She's, of course, the feminine form. So the masculine's thinking about the feminine. There's this sort of, and she flows into her landscape. Like everything is flowing. Just, we have, the water here, right? The image of the water flowing and just the purification of the water. We have the sun, solar plexus, seat of personal power here, calling out to the masculines, but they're packing lightly for this leg of the adventure. They're leaving things behind. Okay, this is very apparent that they're leaving things behind in order to move forward. And they have an open heart and an open mind, which is something that they were closed off to before. Okay, they're open to blessings, they're open to pleasure, they're open to love, and they're deeply appreciative of everything, like all their belongings, all their money, everything they've acquired, but now they're realizing this is not what defines them. This is not what makes them happy. So they're leaving all of that behind to come forward to the feminine. I remember saying to my masculine last year, I said, I don't care if you come to me with just a shirt on your back. That's enough for me. Because he said, I just might lose everything. I might be broke by the time I get to you. And I said, I don't care. It was never about the money for me, and it never will be for the feminine. The feminine can provide for himself or herself. It was always about the love. It was always about the connection. It was always about building a life together and having adventures together. It's never about what they could give us. They're realizing that who they are is not what they've done. They are really ready. They're really ready for the winds of change. They're really ready, guys. They're feeling this deep in their bones. They're ready for the next chapter, and this involves them coming back to their feminine. The feminine, meanwhile, is over here hanging out in the magic zone. The exhilaration of discombobulation. Yeah, feminines, and this came up in yesterday's reading, one of them. So feminine's definitely feeling a little bit discombobulated. Feminine's feeling a little bit like, what the hell is going on? And the feminine, because you don't have clarity yet in the physical, right? This is the masculine's on this call to adventure, and the feminine is on the journey back, right? So again, yes, you're at different points in the journey. Stay, please, thank you. But the feminine's got, you can see there's a lot of action here. This is very clear, okay, very focused. This is like, it's everything and everyone. There's a lot of action going on in this card for the feminine. And the feminine is really heeding the call to the inner child. So you might be doing some inner child work or healing at this time, feminine. And this should be playful and joyous, okay? But here's what happens is we've been on this journey for most of 2020. Well, for most of us, for most of our lives, right? We know that we're different. We know that knew that we were starseeds. We knew we weren't from here. We knew we were little aliens walking around in the world. And now the feminines are a bit disoriented, right? It's like coming back from the dream and now having to really plant your feet in reality, right? Well, how does the feminine do that? How do you plant your feet in reality? You have to get yourself oriented again. I like to say orientated, but I don't think that's a word. Oriented again? Now I'm all confused in my words. You ever say a word and it's, the word like pencil, but all of a sudden it sounds weird or feels weird rolling off your tongue? It's because we're little aliens walking around. This isn't our first language. So the feminine may not realize she's in this magic zone, okay? Might feel like this long stretch of desert and you're trying to find the elixir for your thirst. But understand, okay? As you take the step forward back home, like you're on the way back home, right? The journey back to oneself, first and foremost. Everything is going to start to make sense. Everything's going to collide, the dreams, the visions, the experiences. And you're taking all of these stories, you're taking all of this with you, all of the healing with you. You're integrating the lessons that you've learned into every minute cell of your being. Okay? Everything's being rewired, everything's being recircuited, okay, within yourself. And just because your adult ego is like, I need to have this all figured out, I need to figure out exactly when he's coming back. Is it 6 weeks, 6 months? Sarah, can you tell me the timing? No, I can't. And even if I could, I wouldn't, because I don't feel like that's my place. I'm not holding back from you guys, by the way. I'm not given timing. But even if I was, okay, I would not be, what's the fun in that? The soul says. The ego thinks it would be great. But in reality, what would you really do with that? Okay, say I told you they're coming back in 6 years. You'd freak out. Your ego would freak out. You'd try to give up on the journey. You'd try to give up on your masculine. You'd try to give up on yourself or your feminine. You'd try to give up on everything. What would be the point in me saying that? How would that benefit you? I feel like the only reason that would benefit you is if I told you it was going to happen in 3 weeks or 3 days or something. You'd be like, oh, great. But think about what you might lose out on, the growth that you might lose out on, the friends that you might lose out on meeting along the way, because you'd be so focused on that person that you'd forget that you have a whole journey ahead of you. So even though the adult ego is like, what the fuck? Why is this taking so long? The child, okay, the inner child wants to play. The inner child wants to experience all of this. The inner child is loving this journey, and you don't have to have it all figured out, buttoned up. It doesn't have to come in a perfectly packaged gift box. And you understand that you can embrace the chaos, and that's exactly what the feminine's being asked to do right now. Don't shoot the messenger, guys. I can feel the energy. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot me. Don't get mad at me. Don't you even, girl, boy. Don't get mad at me. I'm just the messenger, okay? It's funny because the masculine, the feminine's been in this sort of discombobulated state, this chaotic state lately, and the masculine's been the one who's been all chillax. And let's get a card now for union. Spirit, can we just get just one card, please, for union? Well, I don't want 3 cards. Okay. Well, this is one of the major arcana cards in this deck. We're going to go with the reward. I got 3 cards, interesting here, and I chose the 3rd one. This one felt like the one that wanted to be chosen. So what do we have? Reward. Celebrate your magnificence. Yeah, so this is the union energy. So both twins are being asked to celebrate their magnificence right now. This is a reward for the work well done, for the journey undertaken, okay? For all the risks you've taken, all the obstacles you've overcome. And wherever you've stumbled along the way, okay, Joseph Campbell would say, there's your treasure. Okay, where you stumble, there lies your treasure. I think that's really a potent statement. We think that it's in the rising, but it's in the falling and then the rising that we create our magnificence. Okay? All you need to do at this time, twins, is to feel joy in your heart. Okay, to open up to expansion, to open up to abundance. And this is a congratulations card, by the way. You've created a life that's worth celebrating. You've created a love you've found each other again through lifetimes upon lifetimes of separation and pain and loss. And you found each other again, and you found each other again in this lifetime to come together again in the physical. You suited up, you showed up, you absolutely gave it your all, you gave it your best, and you're now in the reward phase of the journey, okay? And I mean, look, the masculine saying, I mean, the cards are all validating this. We have miracles, we have truth, we have trust, new beginnings, potential, the magic zone, and say yes to your higher calling. It's all here. It's all here. Whether or not your ego or personality wants to believe this or not. So I know I'm going to get some comments about what's going on in the 3D. Yes, Sarah, that's all great, but please hear me out when I say, and I have to say this to my own ego too and personality. in my head. Let the heart lead the way. The heart knows the truth. It is the ego and the mind that will try to tell you otherwise, that will try to control the situation, that will try to take you out of alignment with your twin, with your connection, with your higher purpose, and with your mission, okay, with your higher self. It feels shitty when things don't resonate. It's because it's not your truth. That's why I always say take what resonates, leave what doesn't, both with myself and other readers. If it doesn't resonate, please don't take it. Please drop it. It's not for you. It's not your truth, okay? And that's perfectly fine. We can all have our own truths, but you know what your truth is because it will feel magnificent. When somebody told, along the way, someone said to me, oh, maybe this is a catalyst, but that was her truth. And I realized it because she had had a catalyst, and the person she was dealing with sounded a lot more like a catalyst than a twin. And I realized, but I never said that. I never judged for her. And she just, without asking, she said this. And I got triggered. And then I realized, oh, she's projecting A. And B, what does it matter what anyone else thinks? It's not my truth. There's a reason it felt so yucky. It wasn't my truth. When someone says to you, of course he or she is your divine masculine or your divine feminine, and that resonates and you feel that in your heart, that's your truth. Don't let anyone else tell you the timing of your journey. Don't let anyone else tell you this, you're not going to come together in this lifetime. Don't let anyone else tell you this is not your twin. They are not your soul. They are not living your life. They are not in this connection. You are. You are the only one. That's why I don't do twin flame checks, and that's why I don't talk about timing, because that is not my truth. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It is not up to me to decipher what your truth is in this lifetime. It's up to you. I'm here to empower you. You know your truth. You know your timing. You know what you need to do on your journey. It's not for me to decipher. It's not for me to declare for you. That is not my right. That is not my power. So understand that you are here right now at this exact point in time watching this video. Whenever you're watching, it's a timeless reading, to soak up the energy, soak up this reward. Let this magnificence radiate all through you, all throughout you, all through your cells. Dance. I mean, you can see the joy on her face. Dance and be free. And understand that as you elevate your energy, more and more blessings will be magnetically attracted to you. So I think we're going to stop there on that super incredible, powerful note. There's so much energy here. I'm vibrating. I hope you're vibrating too. I hope you have a beautiful, magnificent Sunday. I will likely have another video for you guys later tonight around 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern time. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and I will see you so soon. Stay in joy and stay in radiance.